All right, everybody, welcome to CBSI Presents Tales from Flipside, number 19. Basically, the Baltimore show. So I know some people on the show didn't go to Baltimore, but we are going to rock it out right now. I'm Dino. Everybody introduce yourselves.
Yeah, it's Ben S. I did not go to Baltimore, but I did want to congratulate the Bengals for finally getting a W today.
Yeah.
And a Dallas loss.
John Z here. I didn't go to Baltimore, but I still have enough stories from last year. I can fake it.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Scotty Too Hottie. I did go to Baltimore.
P-Dub's here, and my wife says if I give her some of my Raz money, she might touch me more.
It's a lie, Paul.
Yeah, she just wants your money.
She just said leave it on the dresser. So I don't know.
Isn't that the definition of a hooker?
And bringing up the rear but not touching Paul's Raz money is Brian. And I did go to Baltimore and had a hell of a time, and I think I'm just now getting over my hang-up.
Saucy. Being saucy over at the bar.
Yeah.
Like it.
It was a hell of a time.
Okay, boys. I know we put Baltimore on the thing, but we have a lot to talk about, so I guess we should go down the list.
That's just a hell of a show. Yeah. Scott and Dino had to put up with a weekend of Paul's problems. Back to back.
Living firsthand, man. I don't know.
I can see why he has so many problems. It's pretty obvious. You spend some time with Paul.
Dude, it's not even yet. Like, could you imagine if we drove it?
Oh my God. That's just like playing Murphy's Law right there.
I know.
Yeah, I mean it started going south when before I even got on the plane. The day before I was gonna leave work. I went into work late because overtime situation kind of got to meet my job in the middle on overtime hours and yada yada. So I went in late, trying to catch up on shit, and I turned this corner, and there was something in the road, but I turned real fast and I heard this clunk thunk. I heard this grinding noise, like a tree branch was caught in my tire, and I was like, whatever. So I was on this road, so I went 55 miles an hour down this long road, and the noise stopped. So I'm like, all right, cool. I just ran over a tree branch, and it's out. But in the back of my head, I knew my tire was fucked. So I was like, maybe I'll check it at lunchtime. But I got distracted trying to catch up on shit at work and blah, blah, blah. So the end of the day comes around, and it's 4:30. I'm trying to sneak out early, and I got all my shit done. I walked out to my car, and yep, there it was, big old fucking flat tire. Couldn't go anywhere. I was gonna get some last minute supplies, get some errands run, and yada yada. But so that's how I started my Baltimore experience. But AAA fucked up the tow trucks, and I got home. Or I'm sorry, the tow truck picked me up at the time I wanted to be home already. So they took me to. It was just a mess, but luckily it all worked out, and it didn't happen.
Can I ask you?
It didn't. Yeah, go ahead, man. What?
Do you not know how to change a tire?
Well, no, I do know how to change the tire, but I have a bunch of shit in my trunk. So I was like, well, I'll just wait for AAA and whatever.
But the better question is, do you know how to change a tire on a car?
Not on the Turtles van?
No, I do. And I was talking to my wife. I'm like, God damn it, I have fucking flat tire. And she's like, just change it. Just change to your donut and drive to the shop down the road. I was like, I'll just let it play out. Let's see what happens. And so AAA, like they fucked up. How they fucked it up is the truck that was coming to get me skipped me and went to somebody else instead. And meanwhile, the mechanic I was going to take it to closed at 7. And it was like 4:30. They're like, I got plenty of time. They're like, oh yeah. And I called them. They're like, oh yeah, as long as you're here by like 6:30, we'll get you all set up and yada yada. So it just fell apart from there. But
so I'm getting these texts from Paul, and he's like, dude, I got a flat tire, and I'm like, oh fuck, dude. So I'm like rolling through this thing, and I'm like, I'm gonna have to pick this motherfucker up tomorrow. I'm gonna have to wake up, and I'm gonna go down to Toledo, which isn't that bad. It's only like an hour, so I mean, it's not like it's that big of a deal. Pick him up. Or I'm gonna be like, Paul, if your ass isn't here by the time the flight goes, I gotta leave, dog. I mean, comics before bros, dog. I mean, So
I plugged it in. I was like, I'll just pay the $55 for the Uber or whatever. I was like, I don't care. I'm getting there one way or another. I don't care about this flat tire.
Uber all the way to Detroit. That'd be fucking hilarious.
I did. I almost did. I was like, fuck it. It's a $55 expense. Fine.
That's not terrible, actually. That's
that poor Uber driver. He'll get stuck working in Detroit for the night.
Hey man, hey bro, where are you from? Nigeria? Yeah.
They only pay you one way. So if you if the Uber driver drove from Toledo to Detroit, he or she only gets paid from Toledo to Detroit. They don't. The company Uber or whoever doesn't pay them back. So yeah, it would have sucked. But it all luckily all worked out. It was just a funny adventure.
Yeah, I was telling Dino, just leave him. Just leave him.
It would have been a hell of Paul's problem. I got to Dino's house and I like knocked on a door and he didn't come out for like 3 days. I don't know what happened. So that was a part of Paul's problems, and let's talk about. So we go there when me and Paul are on a flight. We go to Philly to see Scotty, and Scotty's going to drive us up. So first of all, Paul comes to my house, and I'm like, "Hey, bro, what's going on?" He's like, "Nothing." I'm like, glad your tire's okay, and all that stuff. I said, "Okay, man, I got to grab my duffel bag and my backpack, man." I'm like, "You got your luggage?" He's like, "Yeah, bro." This fucking kid pulls out this luggage. I'm like, first of all, what the fuck is that? He's got this floral print fucking luggage.
Grandma bag.
It's a grandma bag, dude. And it's like, I'm like, bro, what's in here? And there's like, oh my goodness. We'll talk about that later. But the thing was fucking monstrous. He goes, oh yeah, dude, I'm gonna check that. I'm like, oh god. I'm like, dude, I literally put my duffel bag on the overhead. I'm like, we're gonna be cool because we're gonna say like 2 duffel bags, and then it's gonna be overhead, and we can walk out of the plane, and it'll be good. That didn't happen.
Yeah. So the history of that bag is it's my wife's bag, bought by her grandmother. So my wife
pretty close to grandma luggage then.
Yeah, pretty much. So my wife says anybody who has an issue with that bag is free to suck her dick. Is
that an exact quote or you paraphrasing?
No, that's a quote. She said they can suck my dick. So I was like, everybody's making fun of me for the bag. And I have real luggage, but it's in Seattle because my brother borrowed it and I never got it back. So I was like,
man, what a piece of shit.
Yeah. So I was like, I have to use it. So no, and I
mean, you didn't have to use it. You didn't have to bring so much stuff.
I do though. I do.
Yeah. So we get to Philly, and I don't know if we'll give you the short managed version of it, but we get to Philly. We met Scotty before because we all hung out at A&D. I don't know. Have you met Scotty? Yeah, you met Scotty 2 years ago, right? Or last year, right, Paul?
No, remember I thought Tony was Scott.
Oh yeah.
Like half a day.
So obviously me and Scott known each other, and so we get into Philly, which is awesome, by the way. And like Philly's the greatest town around. We got a cheesesteak, which is by far, what was that place called, Scott?
John's Roast Pork.
Oh, dude, it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous.
So the advice on Philly cheesesteak is never go to a place that has Philly cheesesteak in the name or anything related, right?
Yeah, it's Bobo, as we say, fake.
Yeah. So we get our cheesesteak, we gnaw them down, and then like an hour goes by. We're trying to wait because we don't want to go in rush hour traffic, which is cool. So all of a sudden, Paul's like, "Hey man, I need to get some beer." I'm like, "What are we doing?"
Because we're on the ground. There's no more flights. There's no more checking. No security. I'm like, let's load up. Fuck.
So I'm like, "Cool, Paul, no problem, dude." So I'm like, "Paul, what are you drinking?" And Paul, what do you tell me?
Oh, dustier the better. I don't know.
Oh my god. So he's like, "Hey, we'll go," because Scott's like, "We'll go to like a real beer store," and I'm like, "I think that's too good for Paul, but okay." So we go to this real beer store. This fucking kid gets a shopping cart.
Immediately walks in, is like, "Oh, I want this one. Oh, I want this one."
Oh man, that store was like CGC 9/8 all day. I walked in there, I found my 2 favorite beers right away. The 2 last 6 packs of each right away. I was like, I'm done. I asked the guy twice, like, "You don't have any more of these in the back?" I walked around a little bit, like, "You sure you don't have any more in the back anywhere?" But so that was good. And then I made the mistake of thinking that I needed more beer, and so Scotty took us to.
No, wait! Don't say I took you. What did you want, Paul?
I requested low shelf beer that could only be found.
Yeah, Labatt Ice.
That could
So I
only
had
be
to take him
found.
to a shady part of town because I knew that that's where Labatt Ice would be served.
So we roll up on this fucking thing, and it's kind of sketchy. I mean, I'm from Detroit; it's not sketchy to me, but I mean, for Paul being in Toledo, it's sketchy.
Hey,
So
I'll
I
walk
told
in there.
Scotty's in the car. Scotty's like, I'm not going in. I go, I don't blame you. I go, Scott then rolls up the windows. I'm like, okay. So I tell Scott, I'm like, well, I'm gonna roll in there with Paul so he doesn't die. And then,
The sun was still up, though. I mean, that's probably what saved me.
yeah, pretty much. So we roll up in there. There's some guy like hand peddling fucking money out front, telling me about whatever the fuck he's talking about. I'm like, great, this is going good. I walk in. There's like bulletproof grass, everywhere, and I'm like, cool, no problem. So, I mean, that's a Detroit thing too, so I'm not really worried about it. And then it's owned by Asians, which is cool, no problem.
They're everywhere.
Yeah. So we rolled in, and then so Paul goes, "Hey man, you got any bad ice?" And the guy points like that. He's like, "Yeah, that's cool." He goes, "I'll take like 6 cans." I'm like, "Okay." The dude takes like 30 minutes to get these Labatt ice cans. Like, I think he had to actually like crawl into the back of the fucking refrigerator to get these things. And he goes, "All I have is 5." And Paul's like, "Okay, no problem." And he goes, "You take credit?" He's like, "No." He's like, "Cash only." So he starts yelling at him about cash. And so he slides the cash in, and no big deal. And then I said, "Why don't you talk about the one on the counter that's probably been sitting there for 20 years?" So there was one on the counter that's probably all dusty as hell. But anyway, so he gets the beer. And Paul, what happens with the beer, buddy?
Fuck, man. It was 5 for the price of 10.
So he was arguing about
Yeah,
it.
he was complaining about the price.
Yeah, so he sits there and he goes, "Yeah, bro, in Toledo they're $1, not $1.75."
Yeah, like fucking city prices. And I'm like, I'm on vacation. Whatever. Charge me. Whatever. It's all good. And so I think I'm good because they're cold. So and Sky had a cooler, so it was all kosher. And then I finally go to drink one later when we're at the hotel. I was like, why the fuck? I mean, it's not the greatest beer in the world, but it tastes worse than normal.
Wait a second. I want you to rephrase that because you're like, it tastes worse than normal. It's bottom shelf beer to begin with, but it tastes worse than that.
Oh man. So I'm like, man, so I drank a whole one and and combined with everything else we did that night, maybe I didn't put 2 and 2 together, but I murdered the toilet the next day.
We all did.
And then I went to drink the second one and I was like, this just doesn't taste right. So I went to the bathroom in the hotel room and I poured it out, and it was chunks of shit were falling out of this beer can, like it just settled. Like it had just settled and stuck to the wall, and I was like, there it is. That's and so total waste of money. I donated my $10 and whatever to the Asian community.
Why did you just not drink regular beer?
Well, I had better beer, so that's where I bought great beer, like normal good beer, and then I decided,
are you noticing a pattern here?
Yeah, and then I decided to get shit beer anyway. So then I had too much beer. I was trying to give it away later in the week. It's like, well, I'm going to give it away. It's going to be left in the hotel room unless you guys drink it. But
Nobody's gonna drink beer that you were involved in, Paul.
The other beer was good beer. So the other beer is Jacko Traveler Pumpkin Shandy, which Mel almost threw up on, but it tastes good to me. and then
Pumpkin Shandy is for people with vaginas to drink.
Oh,
and then
I drank one today. Okay, I was fixing a disposal at my boy's house, but that's all he had.
Yeah, and then the other one was by 21st Amendment Brewery. It's a blood orange IPA, which is good. It's a good beer. It's 6-pack. But anywho, it's just so I bought 5 for the price of 10, and it was just spoiled. A cash transaction. So if I would have died, there was no paper trail. That store would have gotten off scot-free. No trail, no problem, no nothing. Just
God.
So now I know why he was the guy probably had to wipe off the inch layer of dust on the top of the can. That's why he's like, I'm gonna sell to this round die and it's gonna be fucking awesome.
Oh, you know, he could have. I mean, I paid cash. He could have changed the price the last second. Like, oh yeah, this guy, fuck, you'll pay $5 a can.
Oh yeah. Oh, it
looked them
probably
up?
is $1 a can there.
You
Probably.
look the beers up on eBay for you.
Yeah, the GPA.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so that was my beer shit. That was. So next year, I know any beer I buy is just for me. I would have given it out.
Yeah, who are you gonna give it the leg? He
Yeah.
doesn't drink that shit. It's
I was trying to get some of that Travelers from you.
Were you?
Again, I was stuck at well, I wasn't stuck. I was sitting at Hooters at the time.
You should have came by, man. You're down the street, man. Not that big of a deal.
Dude, that Hooters gave me diarrhea and heartburn for 2 days.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I'll never
Good
eat
thing we
Hooters
laughed.
again.
Good thing we laughed, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Good thing you made us laugh because it would have been another Paul's problem, dude. I forgot to
Yeah.
fucking print my boarding pass out. I almost missed it, dude. I almost missed my fucking flight.
I figured that Paul would run into a problem getting to the airport. I didn't think it would be you.
Well, you know, my thing was when I went to the hotel room to print or the hotel office area. So I went and I went and checked in and it said print boarding pass, and then the screen went away. I'm like, fuck, man. So I was like, okay, well, they emailed it to me. It's on my phone. I rolled up there. He's like, it doesn't have a barcode. And I'm like, oh, fuck, dude.
So, prints a boarding pass anymore.
Well, I know that, dude. So they emailed it to me, but they didn't put because it said trouble viewing, you know, click here, and it's on Spirit. So I clicked the little link, and it gives me a blank page. I'm
That's
like,
your first problem, flying Spirit.
I know. Well, so I went all the way. So me and Paul were sitting in line for probably 30, 40 minutes, and this fucking line's getting like deep, dude. I'm like, fuck me. So I told the dude, I'm like, hey, man, he goes, just run back. No big deal. I won't even make you go back in line. Just run back. So I ran to the kiosk, printed my boarding pass, and I got the smug look of 75 people as I walked through the crew and employee line.
Yeah.
And
Dino's
like,
coming through.
yeah, I was like, yo, boss, what's up? He's like, come on, man. And then he just clicked it, and I was like, yeah.
Bet you wish it were me.
Yeah.
You should have just flashed that military bag and be like, fuck you.
Oh, I got a big story about that too. I didn't put on the thing. We can talk about that if you want to. So I'm talking to this chick. She's sitting next to me. She's okay looking. So she's she got like her she's getting her PhD in like therapy or counseling and therapist, and like
This
she's
is the flight home.
This is the flight home. So we talk for like the whole thing. She tells me her whole life story. She just went to DC. She saw all the monuments the first time. Blah 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 blah. Blah. So I'm like, cool, nice to meet you, you know, whatever. And then I get my bag, and she literally yells from the whole plane. She goes, because I got like a Digi Camo bag, and it's like a duffel bag, and I bought it from Maxpedition, which is a really good store in Canada. And I got it online. And then so I swung over my bag. She goes, oh, you're in the military too? I was like,
like loud. I could hear it too. And I was like,
yeah,
I was like, what the fuck's going on, Dino?
and like I know I know we have service people here, so I mean, I got family members who are in the service, so I was like, I'm not gonna be a service guy for pussy, but I was like, no, and she's like, oh, I was like, what if I said yes? What was that? You're gonna change the dynamic? Like, I don't. But no, I was loud as fuck, man. I was like, oh,
damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was sitting next to this couple who were they were arguing on the way back. Like they were nice. I got on late, so the woman thought the seat next to her was open. I was like, nope, that's me, bitch. And, so she had like all her laptop and she's like, oh, I was just charging my phone. I'm like, it's fine. I'm tired. Like the weekend, I knew I was going to sleep on the way back.
Hey, fuck you, buddy, because you got a fucking emergency exit row and didn't tell me you.
Oh yeah. So I don't know, man. I must have been looking good that day because I walk in to get my ticket. I check my bag and whatnot, and this lady's like, "Oh, there's an emergency row seat available with a little more legroom if you'd like it." It's like, you know, I was double checking. Is like for anything extra, and she said, "Oh no, absolutely not. Go ahead." And I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll take it. Sweet."
You dick.
So I got emergency row for free on the way back, and then I sit next to this couple, and they seemed decent at first. And then all of a sudden she starts arguing with this boyfriend or whoever about his vacation days and how he's allowed to take them and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, fuck this. So I just put some headphones in and passed out. Meanwhile, Dino's talking shit about my luggage to some somewhat looking chick 3 rows ahead of me.
The hotel people were talking shit on your luggage.
Oh, dude, they're like, "Hey, we remember you. You're with the granny bag." We're like, "Yeah, we know."
Yeah, but I mean, I was rolling with that one. She was like, I told her, hey, nobody steals from Granny, man. You throw your shit in a Granny bag.
Oh, so
nobody steals from Granny, but you still have to zip tie your bag shut.
Okay, let's talk about that. So we get there. Okay, so we get we're jumping all around, but it's okay. We go to Baltimore. This kid got his granny bag. I'm like, cool. He's like, I zip tied it, man. I'm like, for what? He's all my comics are in there. I'm like, what? I'm like, first of all, why he has like big books in there. I'm like, why the fuck are you checking big books? Are I gonna get all smashed around? He goes, oh, I forgot. I put them in my backpack. The empty store folios in there. I'm like, okay, whatever, no big deal. He goes, oh, and I go, well, what are you gonna do? He's like, oh, my knife's in my bag. So
which is zip tied.
With the zip tied together. So I'm like, hey, Scott, you got a knife? He's like, no. So I go, okay, let's Dino go fix this one. So I go downstairs and I'm like, I walk towards the lobby and I see the maintenance guy. I'm like, hey, buddy, I need a knife. And he's like, he looks at me. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to kill anybody. I just need a knife because my boy fucking zip tied his bag. And he goes, oh, okay. He pulls out the X-Acto knife. He's like, is this going to work? I'm like, perfect. So he just hands me the knife and I could be some fucking serial killer. And he goes, oh, you going on the third floor? I'm like, yeah. He goes, oh, I'll be right across the room. Okay, no big deal. So we cut his bag open, and I give it back to him. I could have, like, sliced fucking Paul's throat and been like, whatever, man. Like, but.
Yeah, it was a good time. Well, the reason I zip tied my bag is because the last time I flew, my wife and I's bag got open and some shit got stolen. So I was like, well, fuck, I'll just zip tie the zippers together and be done with it. Although I didn't bring enough zip ties for the flight back, so I had to borrow some twine from Scott's bag, and I tied it at the check-in. I'm like, oh fuck, I forgot to tie this. So I tied it like a hobo, just all fucking grainy.
Because that's not suspicious at all, you fuck. Like you're in line at security or
Nothing
whatever.
in here.
Yeah, like here, let me tie this together. I got some shit in here. It's like.
And then I get to Dino's house and I open it and there's a pamphlet in there saying this bag was inspected by TSA, but nothing was missing, so it was all good.
Oh man.
Okay, so I mean that's okay. So we got done with the travel stories and stuff, and I do thank Scott for hooking this up, and like Stein too, because Stein by far was the MVP of the show. Even though I didn't go, like he hooked us up big time on this hotel, and I can't thank him enough. So Stein, you are the man.
Thank you, Ben.
Hey, no problem, guys.
That was huge. We owe you big.
No, you don't. I'm just glad you guys were able to use it. I would like to have been there though.
Yeah.
Oh, we wish you were there.
Oh, dude, it was awesome. But
Stein, you saw the video though, right? With some of the pictures and everything.
I saw some. Yeah, I saw some of the pictures. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I didn't want to be there. I don't know.
Maybe you want to be there, but not with Paul in the room.
It illustrates the bag and the flat tire. And the
I don't know. The thing about Paul is it's always interesting. Like you're never not gonna have a dull time because.
No, but, okay. So this brings up the next point. This is fucking hilarious, Paul. Let's talk about what's in your luggage because my man had a big ass luggage, and I'm like, okay, what's in the luggage? Because I want to know.
I brought like 6 pairs of everything because for 3 days. Because in the past, long story short, I ran out of clothes at a camp, and I had to wear dirty clothes, and it was traumatizing. So now I overpacked. Now, I was actually surprised because there was more room in the bag. I could actually close it without sitting on it and all that shit. But I had some good stuff in there. I had my monkey ball, which I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is a monkey ball?
Why don't you explain this to him? Because I didn't know what a fucking monkey ball was.
Monkey ball is a gigantic ball bearing wrapped in 550 paracord used for self-defense. Because I don't know what the fuck. I've never been to Baltimore.
He thinks it's like the episode of The Wire.
I don't know what the fuck is going on. I've heard John Z stories about stumbling back through shady ass neighborhoods. I'm like, if I'm gonna get held up I'm gonna go all out. So I got a monkey ball. I got a decoy wallet.
No, let's talk about let's talk about a decoy wallet. Where did you put the decoy wallet at?
Well, so what I use the decoy wallet for on the off season is I use it to just put extra cash in, and I throw it in my dresser. But I brought the decoy wallet for this trip, and in my mind, I'm thinking if I'm ever getting robbed, I'll just throw the decoy wallet at the robber, and I'll be able to get away. But what I use it for, I just left it in the hotel room, and I was like, well, I'll just see if the maid moves it. So I just left it there, and
the problem with that thing, it's a good thing. Hey, I understand. There's nothing in the fucking wallet though.
Yeah,
There's
it's
nothing
completely empty.
Completely empty.
The ringer was empty, dude.
100% empty wallet.
I mean, even if she looked at it, she'd be like, "This guy's fuck. What the fuck, man?"
Oh shit! And then yeah, so that's my decoy wallet.
Yeah,
At least have a McLovin ID card or something in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing. But and then I had my fanny pack, which I've never been to Baltimore, big con. I want to get robbed and people slipping their hands in my pockets and stealing shit. I guess I'm picturing like Bangladesh or some shit. I don't know.
Hey, this isn't Fallujah, man. Okay, Baltimore.
So I'm like, man, I'll just go old school and get everything in a fanny pack. I got like a nice low key, thin, low fanny pack that isn't noticeable, but is very noticeable.
Is that what the Amazon reviews told you?
Yeah, it looks like a fucking colostomy bag. Who said that?
I said that. He goes, it's not noticeable. I go, yeah, just tell everybody you have a colostomy bag, dude. It's fine.
But so I did everything before the show. I'm prepping. When it arrived in the mail, I'm like, all right, let's see how this fits and yada yada. So I did everything I could. I'm like, this is kind of tight. So I'm like, whatever, I'll deal with it later. So I bring it to the show. And I'm like, God, this is just too tight. I can't wear this all day due to my size. And I was like, this is just too tight. So funny, we got the picture up in the Google Plus and yada yada. But then I come home. I was like, yeah, I was talking to my wife about the show. I was like, yeah, honey, the fanny pack didn't work out. Here it is. Literally hand it to her like it was just too tight. So she fucks with it for 3 minutes, and she's like, there was like 40 inches of extra stretchy shit.
Oh my God, Paul.
So she fixed it in a matter of minutes. So like, it would have fit you fine. So we could have more comedic gold of me actually wearing the fanny pack. So next year I'll get that.
It doesn't surprise me that you didn't extend the belt all the way.
I thought I did. I tried my best, but
I'm
does
glad
not surprise me.
No, I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad he didn't.
I really want to pay for Hooters out of my fanny pack next year.
Oh, so that was our highlights of Paul.
Oh, and for anybody who did see the picture, I think it was John Z or somebody's like, "What the fuck is that pink bear in my suitcase?" My daughter, when I was packing, was like, "Oh, you need to take these gems, and here's my little stuffed teddy bear, and blah blah blah." So that's what that was.
It was cute. It was actually pretty cute.
Yeah, I'm weird, but I'm not that weird. So that was for my kid, just so you know.
No, he had his turtle toys in there too. So I don't talk about that.
She put like a random X-Men comic. I said, "Are you gonna grade that, bro?" It was all like fucking VF minus, maybe not even. Maybe it's fair.
It was mangled.
Yeah. As it wasn't even a true believers, a true first or some shit.
Yeah.
I don't even know, dude.
Yeah.
My bag, man. So Willy Wonka and Miss Mary Poppins got it all together.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I mean, you had everything you could have needed and stuff that you did not need.
Well, I got home and I divided my clothes dirty and clean, and I ended up putting clothes right back in my dresser. I was like,
Of course you did, Paul.
Didn't even wear it. Nope.
So,
Didn't wear that.
So our next fundraiser is for Paul's duffel bag, and we're gonna scrounge up some money and get him a proper duffel bag, and I'm gonna bring him next year, and I'm gonna unpack his shit and pack his shit in this duffel bag so he can like bring it on the plane.
I need those the vacuum bags where you put a vacuum hose on it and it sucks everything down. Vacuum seals it so you can pack more.
Fine. That's no problem.
And then the story's going to be the last day of the con. I got to track down housekeeping. Like, can I borrow your vacuum?
Yeah, the more steps you put into your process, Paul, the more problems you're going to come up with.
I had like 3 pairs of shorts and like CBSI shirts, and that's all I had.
At
and, like,
this point,
underwear.
Paul, you just need to keep it simple.
Well, the best part was I got to the con and got more clothes from you, Scott.
Yeah. What I give you? 3 shirts?
So yeah, something like that. But yeah, it was a good time. I'm glad you guys put up with me.
And Paul's beard game is tight. He
It
has
is
like
tight.
7 different products he uses in his beard.
Oh, I did. Oh, so I'm in the shower. Fucking Paul's razor is gonna fucking slice my Achilles tendon, dude. It's like Saturday.
He's got a mirror in the shower too.
Yeah.
I thought it came with the hotel room.
So all I hear.
Literally.
Yeah, dude. So I'm like in a Saturday morning, and fucking Paul goes, "You okay?" All I heard was a bunch of crashing. I'm like, "Yeah, your fucking razor was trying to cut me, dude."
Oh shit.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I did bring. I have like a little. I don't know, like a 5x7 mirror or something like that. With some suction cups on it that I bring. I brought it to IndyCon.
So that should be the next CBSI variant, is a Paul photo variant for shirtless bear fighter.
No, actually, it would be pretty awesome. Maybe, yeah, somebody to draw it out. It'd be kind of awesome.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys putting up with me. I don't know if you will next year, but
No, it was fun.
No, we're definitely getting a different hotel room. No, it was cool. It was definitely fun. I mean,
Last person to confirm has to share with Paul.
The biggest problem I had with Paul is 4:30 in the morning, the night before we were leaving. He's packing while Dino and I are trying to sleep.
he's like, I was being quiet. We're like, no, you weren't.
Literally like banging thing, like.
Well, I snuck in to get the
You
beer.
did not sneak in.
No, you didn't.
It was the last night. I was hanging out with Jimmy and Mel and some other crew, and I was like, "Hey guys," they were swinging back like, "Oh, cheap beer at our hotel." Blah blah. I'm like, "Well, I got free beer at my hotel. Let's swing by." So I go in there, I sneak upstairs, and I'm trying to rearrange the beer because I didn't want to take all the beer.
Clang, clang,
had,
clang, clang, clang.
Yeah, you guys had some. So I'm like, let me sort this out real quick.
He come in and say, "You guys sleeping?"
So he's banging around, dude. And then, okay, so he leaves. We're like, okay, cool. And we go back to bed. And then fucking like an hour, I don't even know what it was. He comes back in, and all you hear is,
Literally, he just starts packing at 4:00 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning.
And when was your flight out?
Gotta be prepared.
We didn't. I mean, they didn't fly out till later, but
dude, it was 5 o'clock, man, in the afternoon. And that's like fucking 20 hours away. It's like, dude, I don't. Yeah. So we're sitting there, and I'm like, me and Scott. I know Scott's old man. We call him old man. He gets a little cranky. He doesn't get his sleep, man. I thought he was gonna go ballistic on him. I was like, Paul, for the love of God, just go to bed. And then, so he finally goes to bed, and so he tells me before we start flying out from to go to Baltimore. He's like, "Hey, man, you need some earplugs?" I'm like, no, man, I'm okay. I mean, for the flight and stuff, I'm like, no, I'm okay. But I mean, I go, if they're like $1, I'll take them, whatever. He comes back, he's like, yeah, bro, they were $18. They were $9 a piece. I was like, why the fuck did you buy these? He goes, I don't know, bro. I'm going, go take that shit back. So he goes and takes it back, and then he's like, oh, I forgot I had headphones so he didn't even need the earplugs. And then, so my man Paul, he has like fucking ear. So when he sleeps, he has like earplugs in, and he has one of those like, one of those masks that women use for like they put over their face for like
to
one
block
of
out the sun.
To block out the sun. He has one of those. I'm like, oh God, Paul. Oh.
Literally has everything in his bag.
I don't know if I'm laughing harder at Paul's stories or the live chat tonight. It is pretty on fire.
We got 13, man. We got 13.
We were at 14 for a second.
God damn it. So anyways, so we talked about that. I'll skip over this because Paul's back.
I'm back. What did we skip over?
I was talking about the cab and the flying and the Lyft driver. So that's
God damn, that was we spent more time on the ground than we did in the air, pretty much.
Yeah, coming back home, but I mean that's no big deal. So they had a bunch of shit tore up. Okay, so let's talk about Baltimore Comic-Con, going to Baltimore Comic-Con. So we all bought VIP, and me, Scott, and Paul got there at, what time was it, boys? Like at 11?
11, probably 11:30.
11:30? So it's like 30 minutes before it's officially supposed to open, right?
Supposed to open at noon.
So we get in there, and we show them like our like our little ticket thing, our paper ticket. He's like, yeah, man, just go up in line on the left. So we get in line, and then they're like, whoever doesn't have a bracelet or a lanyard, you need to go over here in the little like ticket line.
So disorganized.
Yeah, so Scott Paul holds our place. Me and Scott go and get our tickets. Then we come back, and it was all fucked up because Scotty had Frank Millar signing, and he's sitting there and he's like, we can't do any of the Frank signing stuff now. You got to get your tickets later, and it's like this fucking voodoo of where he's at, and like
they had no clue what was going on.
You need to go to Legends of the Hidden Temple final maze to find out where this fucking signing is. So we're like, cool.
I got a story to come back to that.
Okay. So we get our stuff. Paul gets his stuff. We come in, and then we get free swag. Scotty, what do we get? I don't even know what we got. What do we get?
A bag, right?
Yeah, we got a bag.
Photo variant of the librarians,
which is hot on fire on eBay right now. List them all. Going for like
we did get a dark arc variant.
Yes.
And then I don't know, some stupid hardcover book that we just left in the hotel room.
It was a Telios.
Oh, is that the yearbook or whatever they had?
Yeah. We promptly said it added like 5 pounds.
That thing, yeah.
Dude, it added like 5 pounds. Like, what the fuck, man?
They should have just charged us $20 less and not given us the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was terrible. And then they brought out the actor for Colossus, and I was like, is that the guy? I mean, he's huge, but I figured he had some mass on him, just to fit it.
Yeah,
but
he was. I'll tell you what, though, he was cool. Like, I was watching him when I was in line for Miller.
He was cool, but they brought him out during the VIP fuck up, like the disaster. Everybody just wanted to get into the con, like, and have our 60 minutes of free time. They're like, oh, let's bring a celebrity over here to calm the people down.
And we're like, fuck you, Colossus. We really don't want to hear what the fuck you got to say. Just let us in. So basically, it's like 12:30, boys, and we're like, what the fuck? And they're like, okay, we're gonna let everybody in. So we all walk downstairs, and then they don't even have the doors open.
No.
So we go into a second like holding area.
And I'm at this point, I'm losing it because I've been waiting in line for an hour. It's like hot and like cramped and stinky. Like people already stink.
Yeah. So Scotty's losing his fucking mind. I'm trying to calm his ass down.
Because here's the thing. Like honestly, like the organization, the guy is lining everybody up and telling them what they're supposed to be doing. It's like you should have had that done like an hour ago. Like these people should be ready.
Yeah.
It's now 12:40.
He's telling all security, like, everybody has a wristband, keep going, you know what I'm saying? So, like, okay, no big deal. And then we roll through, and they open the doors up at 12:40. So, me, Scott, and Big Leg, and I think Josue was with us.
Yeah, Josue, Jim Bagley.
Bagley was there. And so, we're like, we're going to go to Greg Horn, and we're going to go to Graffiti. And I said, boys, just let me go. So, I fucking I bust out, and I fucking ran like a 4.40 to Greg Horn's fucking booth. And so I was like first in line. Dude, I was gone. Dude.
Is that what all the training has been for this year?
Pretty much, dude. I was gone.
Greg Horn was like, oh, I'm not ready yet.
Yeah. So Greg Horn, he's like, what are you guys doing here? We're like, we're VIP. They let us in. He goes, oh, fuck. I'm not ready, dude. I'm like, oh, fuck. You're not ready means we're going to have some problems. So he's like doling out shit to us. He's like, oh, here's this book, and we'll give you a deal, and I'll do these deals. And it was nice. And Greg Horn is by far the nicest guy on the planet. Like,
yeah, he
really
was very nice.
Really cool. And he's like, so he starts like opening up. He's like, hey, can you guys open up these comics? And we're like, okay. Like, just bring out the top parts.
So he could sign them.
He wanted to sign them. And we're like, okay, cool. He goes, oh, I didn't tell you. It's like $10 to sign them. And I said,
we're like, close those books up.
Yeah, so I basically told him, I was like, no, I'm good. I go, hey, and I had to smooge my way. This is my salesman talk, Z. I go, hey, isn't this be easier for you if we don't get them signed? We'll just, just speed up the process. And he's like, oh, you guys don't want them signed? And we're like,
no,
not really. He's like, oh, okay, cool, no problem. So, pretty much the transaction went pretty quickly. Fucking Leg leaves. Leg's like, oh, I thought he was going to sign all the shit. I didn't want it signed, so I left. So he just left and didn't get any exclusives. It's not that big of a deal. The Spider-Verse was badass, though. That was probably
those covers, yeah.
Yeah, that was probably the coolest covers. And then I talked to him about donating to the charity auction. I sent him a message on Facebook. He hasn't answered, but I mean, I know he's super busy, but he was really cool dude. And hopefully, maybe not on this one. Maybe I can hit him up for the next one. So
I ran by his booth on Sunday and was like, "Hey, you have any more of those books?" I was like, "I have like 2 sets." And I was like, "Oh, just hurt my soul more that the VIP was a waste."
Yeah, well,
next year though, I think I'll skip it. I guess
they let everybody in 20 minutes later.
Yeah,
we
got
only
in.
had
Yeah, our 60 minutes turned into 20.
disaster.
You need the dealer badges. That's where it was at.
Well, we got me and Scotty got a story about this one. So Indy, we roll up at Indy, and last year, and that that little dude who came by our booth, that dealer who bought all our shit at the beginning of the fucking yeah. So me and Scott are just walking around around Baltimore. This fucking kid shows up. He's like, "Hey guys," we're like, "Oh no," we're like, "Dude." So the backstory is like, so we gave him a bunch of deals on Indy, right? And he's like, "Yeah, dude, come by. I'll give you a deal on whatever you need." So Scott's looking for a Flash 105, right? And he has one, right? And he wanted, what did he want Scott for it?
I don't know, 2,300, I think.
Yeah, which I mean, it's not a bad price by any stretch of the
23, 24, something like that.
Yeah,
and,
so we gave him a bunch of deals, and then Scotty, you tell him because you're
I offered him 1,800 cash and a ASM 300 9.4 for the book. And he's like, "No, I could do 19." I was like, "You can't do 18." So I was like, "All right, fuck it, I don't want it."
Yeah. So basically, we meet this dude, and he's like, "Hey, I remember you guys. Yeah, you guys set up." We're like, "No, bro, we're just here to
just the buy."
Yeah, just to buy. And then so we're rolling through, and he goes, "Hey, you guys just let me know. Just email me. I would have gave you guys dealer badges for like $20 or something. I know he's gonna charge me or something. I know he is, but he's like, I would have hooked you up with dealer badges." We're like, "Yeah, okay." So that was our IndyCon related story. So what a sizer that dude is. God, weasel, fucking weasel, that kid. But anyways, and then so after Greg Horn, me and Scotty were talking like, "Oh, you need to go to graffiti and see what's going on in graffiti." We fucking went around at least 3 laps trying to find graffiti.
We couldn't find it anywhere.
We're like, "Fuck, Watson Line's going to be out the fucking door." And it amazes to me that graffiti was had like one person ahead of us. So so basically we went through and then graffiti, and then my boy Ben S. I had to hook Ben S. up. Ben was so funny because Ben's like, "Hey man, can you pick up that Wonder Woman graffiti variant, that metal variant?" He goes, "If it's not out of your way." I'm like, "Bro, no big deal." So Ben, I'm glad you got the books, and I'm happy that you got the books, and I hope it's all good.
Hey Scotty, was it the same broad from last year manhandling that shit?
She was much gentler this time, and they were polybagged too.
Oh
yeah.
Well, shit.
So that helped a lot. But I mean, honestly, out of the 20 some odd copies I saw, they all had spine ticks.
I don't think you can get those without them, but man, she was just brutal last year.
No,
she was better.
Was it the same woman?
Yeah, it was. She must have got reprimanded or something, or
she was like practically fanning them from the top.
Yeah, it was brutal last year. We're all like, "Oh."
No, she was really gentle this time, and it's like doing on it was cool because you had like all your variants on one side, or all your exclusives, I guess. So they weren't exclusives, but we won't talk about that. So and then she put them on the other table on the other side, and then you did transactions on the other table, so they're not like all over the place, which was kind of nice, I thought. So, and they were cool.
So it's kind of like a hooker where the money can never touch her hand. You just
pretty much. It was weird.
But... Yeah, you got to pay the pimp.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
So other exclusives, we picked up some Aftershock stuff.
We got that Big Trouble in Little China. There wasn't really any exclusives worth getting.
I think the pick of the show that at least I missed on was that the Bulletproof Comics Wonder Woman Metal Virgin variant.
Yeah, but that was actually offered before. But
yeah, it was offered before, but he was at the show. Hank Kwan, right? Is that his name?
Yeah.
And
Hank's good.
And I listed a bunch of books when I got back, and all of a sudden, like I had a best offer, blah blah, and all of a sudden that one, the red cover, just boom, $100 plus or $99.99 with $3.99 shipping, whatever. Boom, out the door, sold. No best offer, just boom, here's your money, sold. I was like, holy shit, I wish I would have grabbed more of those. But I mean, every comic show has its winners that you don't expect or that you don't
Yeah.
grab. But it's a great show. Great show overall.
Wood, did you get any exclusives?
I picked up a few. I picked up the Dark Arc from Aftershock. The people at Aftershock booth were actually really awesome.
Yeah, they were. We got a picture with them.
Yeah, and then I guess one of them, the one who runs their social media, her last name was what, Wu, right? And of course, my
Yeah.
buddy had that Ric Flair Wu-Tang shirt. So and I could, speaking of which, I cannot believe, like every other booth we stopped at, someone said something about his shirt. I mean, his shirt was like the head of the con.
It was a great shirt. Yeah.
I mean, everyone's
Good
like, I love
timing.
your shirt. But so I picked up that. I picked up I didn't pick up anything at Boom. I did.
I think I got that Big Trouble in Little China Virgin
Right.
variant.
I did pick up the J. Scott Campbell Sheena #1
Yeah.
convention variant.
The foil one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I grabbed one of them too.
And then I did pick up the Bumblebee at Zenoscope along with it wasn't a con exclusive, but the Marine Corps chick in the dress blues with the hat.
Saw
Just
that on your
because-
pickups. Yeah, that was,
Yeah, just because I've wanted it, and it's always had it on its site, but their site, it's always like whatever the $20 for the comic, and it's always $10 to ship. So it was there, so I picked it up. And then I would have to disagree with what the comic of the con was, because I picked up Garfield and Grumpy Cat #1 at the Dynamite booth for my 4-year-old, and it was a hit.
Nice.
They were. My wife was texting me saying the kids were wondering where you were, and I told them you're at Comic-Con, and they're like, we don't own any comic books, and they showed no interest. But since I was gone, they showed interest. So I picked them up that.
Screw you, Dad. You're the worst dad ever. We don't got no comics.
Yeah. So I picked them up that, and there was like, you brought them a winning lottery ticket. They were so
Nice.
happy.
I
Awesome.
was trying to hit up on the girl from Aftershock Comics. It failed miserably, but
She was nice.
she was nice.
She let you down easy.
She did.
she left that ring at home.
Yeah. But
She wanted one of those neckbeard guys.
Oh, the neck beards.
oh,
How about
Oh, damn it. We were at 15 for a minute. Somebody left again.
trolls?
We had broken a record.
How about that frickin' Stormwatch Comics with Carl? Fucking
That was the
booth of
booth
the
of the
show.
con.
Holy
Big
shit!
C, yeah, Carl, yeah. Well, it's funny. He does a little local show in Philly, and I knew he was going down there. So, like, I told Dino, I'm like, "Yo, we got to go to this one booth. He's gonna have good stuff." And then it turned out that everybody was saying the same thing, like, "Oh, you got to go to this booth." And it's like, "What? You mean Carl's booth?" Yeah.
yeah. So I know Z talked about it on Defects how like, oh, Dino I didn't have enough money. Z, I mean, I could have bought everything, but that would have been the only booth I went to.
I went back to that booth 3 times.
Yeah.
Me too. Every day I went and picked out stuff. Like Sean said,
Yeah,
he just kept going back, and there was still stuff there.
Yeah, I could be 2 boxes behind anybody, and I'd still pick something up. I think my find of the show was that it was a We Can Never Go Home #1 homage to Chamber of Chills #19.
Yeah.
And I had to get it because I'd recently won one on the Raz page. I'm like, man, that's just awesome.
Yeah. Good stuff.
But yeah, his whole
And
booth was
watching
just-
Paul dig is hilarious because he's got to take every book out of the bag and board.
Yeah, well, Sean was there, and he's like the man with the golden eye. And a couple of the ones from the wall, I was like, "Hey, Sean, can you give me a second look on this?"
Well, Paul, a wall book is different than a $3 book.
Paul opens up the $3 books too and looks at the back, front and
If
back.
it's $3, you just take it.
You got to see what's in there, though.
It's not proper etiquette, Paul.
I
You don't take it out of the bag unless it's like over 10.
He did
took
ask.
the tape off. I took the tape off.
I can't believe out of Paul's problem. He probably handled like an $800 book, and he would like the tape would get stuck on the comic, and then
Yeah, I guess my spidey sense doesn't mess up when I'm handling money that could come out of my pocket. And Emiliano Beggs, the CBSI man of the show,
Yeah.
made that fucking map that saved us.
It's incredible, yeah. He
Yeah,
I
does
printed out
great
a bunch
work.
of them and gave them to everybody. I got at work. I was killing my color printer, but I didn't give a fuck.
That map was just the bomb.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
And medium, he's the nicest guy around. We met him. Nice dude.
He is
Awesome.
great dude. I actually took some books home and met. He came over on Wednesday and picked them up.
Cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so he's a Philly guy.
And shout out to you too, Scott, sending some books back and taking care of people.
Yeah, I just packed up the last of the books. Dino, you're getting a big box.
Oh God.
Howdy too howdy. Hooked me up. I appreciate it greatly.
You're welcome, man.
ZI bought that Crow number 1 second print. I know it looked a little rough, but for $20 I couldn't pass it up. So it's hanging out on eBay right now. We'll see.
You might make a few bucks.
We'll see.
Yeah, but overall it was a great show. I mean, wouldn't you guys agree? Other than
absolutely.
Carl's booth, I mean, there was a lot of good booths.
I think there's only one booth that I wasted my time on. That was just a fucking jigsaw puzzle of. I mean, they were bagged and boarded, but it was just a jigsaw, no alphabetical order, just everything. Just go for it. Yeah. But other than that, everything was great. That was the only one.
Oh, dude, you would have been pissed. So this guy paid for this booth, right? And they said, "Oh, we'll give you the best spot available." So they had him up front
and center.
But it was cool. It was up front. Like when you walked in, his booth was right there, right? And you'd be like, "Awesome, dude, great, cool stuff." Motherfucker didn't even have a light over his booth. It was fucking so dark, dude. You couldn't even see the books on the wall.
Yeah, those booths were bad. What the fuck was up with that lighting?
Oh, because they were kind of on. There wasn't lights on directly underneath them. I think they tried to put booths too close to the front.
Yeah, the awning, like you know how they had the awnings and stuff? Like they were like right under the awning kind of. So like all the light would just like hit the wall of the awning and then it wouldn't like filter through your booth. I'm like, dude, I can't even
bad for that guy.
I'm trying to remember. I don't remember him that dark last year.
He was pissed. I mean, I don't blame him too. He's like, how the fuck are people gonna look at my books? I can't even like I almost like, hey, do we need to go buy you flashlights and stuff? Like, here you go, bro. Like,
get him a portable lantern or two.
No shit.
Free flashlights for paying customers.
Jesus.
But yeah, I mean, there was a string of booths, like at least 4.
Yeah.
But
what was the best thing you guys bought?
I think I closed it. Fuck. I had my Google Photos open. I think I killed it the first day, but I haven't sold anything, so we'll see what that pans out to be. I got a shit ton of turtle books the first day that I wasn't expecting.
God, you had so many. So many.
Come back to me. I'll pull up the Google Photos so I can quote it.
Everybody knows what Dino's book was.
Oh, okay. So I'll tell you a story though, because it wasn't even me. Like, so me and Leg and Jimmy are walking around, and I go, Leg's like, "Hey, I haven't checked out these booths. Let's go walk around." I'm like, "Cool, no problem, dude." So we're at this guy's booth, and he's got some shit, and then next to him is like a big store, like a bunch of toy dude, like big toys. And Jimmy goes, "Hey, Dino, you know there's like long boxes on the floor that says variants on them." I'm like, "Okay." So I go over to Jimmy. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking like it's probably like action figure and hip hop variants and convergence and just shit variants that aren't very good. So I'm kind of bitching at Jimmy. I'm like, these fucking variants suck as I'm going through them. And then all of a sudden, I see these 2 mad variants. They're the Bane mad variants. I'm like, oh, I know Scott's checking these out for. And he goes, I go, how much for these? And he goes, yeah, these 4 boxes are 3 for $10. I'm like, what? And then he goes, or 20 for 10. And then Jimmy goes, that's fucked. I'm like, okay. And he's like, so me and Jimmy are digging. I'm like, okay. So I picked up those 2 because I know Scott needed some. And then all of a sudden, I just pulled out this He-Man book. And I'm like, it's a Skeletor Masters Universe. I'm like, I got to go, Jimmy. He's like, you fucker. And then he goes, yeah, you're bitching at me that these books are. He goes, I'm in the bad fucking box. And then I go, Jimmy, I got to go. So I basically run over Scott. I'm like, hey, Scott, look what I found. I go to Sean. I go, hey, Sean, look what I found. I go, I need $10, bro. I didn't even know where my money was at. He just gave me $10. I go. So I slipped the Motu in between the 2 the Bane Mad variants. I go, how much for these 3? And the old lady's like, $10. I'm like, here you go. And I run away. And like 2 seconds. And then 2 seconds later, I go, here. I reach in my pocket. I found $10. I go, here, Sean, here's your $10 back. He goes, oh, okay. And then And then I just like, look what I got. He like, you fucker.
This is the difference between Dino and I. I run to the show and ask for $800 out of the booth. Dino asked for 10.
So everybody saw the Motu variant, which I mean, I got lucky, honestly. The other thing I picked up that was cool was I picked up a totally awesome Hawk 22 for $20. And this guy, you think it's 9.8able? I think it's 9.8able.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm sending it.
Yeah. So I mean, we picked up a lot of me and Scott kind of were looking for books for F5. Pretty much. I mean, that's what me and Scott pretty much go to now. I mean, I know Scott bought some personal stuff too. I did too, but for the most part, like we just buy books for the company, shit we can flip or shit we find and stuff like that. So we bought like an Incredible Hulk 181. I got it at like 8.5.
It's gorgeous.
No Marvel value stamp, but I mean, for the amount I paid for it,
Yeah,
I couldn't beat it, dude. I picked up a New Mutants 87 first print. That's probably what 9.6, 9.8 probably. I mean, it's
probably like 9.0, 9.2. There's a little crease on it.
Oh, I mean, I didn't look at it that good, but I mean, I got that for a good price. ASM 252s. That was probably the bigger stuff. I bought a lot of Campbell stuff, Hughes stuff. I bought there's like a $1 box. I bought a lot of Gen 13 Campbells for $1 a piece. I mean, if they're $1 a piece and they're in high grade, why not, pull the trigger? I'm just kind of looking through my other stuff. I got all some photos here. Scott, what else did we get? A bunch of stuff.
A lot of flippable books.
Yeah, I mean,
You guys got the first Punisher, didn't you? For the company?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did we?
No, well, Sean bought. Well, I guess
We're not sure.
Yeah, we're not sure yet. Sean bought it, and because we were talking about it, me and Scott and Sean, and Sean's like, "If you guys want it, you guys can have it. If not, I'm gonna buy it." And we're like, "Well, let's talk about it later," because it had some water damage on it. It wasn't a lot. It's not that crazy, but it's probably like a 5.0. But it's one of the better 5.0s you're gonna see.
Yeah, the cover's nice.
Yeah. So, but I mean, he got a good deal out of it. I picked up a Superman Adventures #5, the live wire, and
oh fuck, man! You picked it up? You mean like stole it?
Well,
Christ,
I know. So the guy's Greek, right? I'm like, oh, I'm Greek, dude, and we can bond over this shit, right? So we start talking, and his name's Anthony, and he's a good dude. And so fucking again, Jimmy grabs his book, and I'm like, hey, just get it, dude. He goes, I can't get it because I got to go back to Canada, and Canada gives you like fucking fees on what you buy or whatever. You only can bring back.
You only bring back a certain dollar value.
Yeah, I'm like, okay. I don't know how they're gonna know that, but I'm like, he's like, yeah, I can't fit it anyway. Just grab it. So I look on the tag, and he has like a dollar sign, and it says 59. But and it says like this elongated like dollar sign, like the second line for the dollar line, like way down at the bottom. So it looks like
tell the truth. It was 159,
okay,
but
it was
over the dollar sign.
Yeah. So it's like 159. And then I go, how much for this, dude? And he goes, 59. I go, okay. He goes, how is this so fucking cheap? I go, I don't know. He goes, fuck it, I'll give it to you for 50. I'm like, so I walked.
Was this a 9.8?
Yeah, so it's a CBCS 9.8.
already graded.
Already graded. I got it for $50. So
The fact is, he knew the price was off at 59. He still went under.
Was that Anthony's comic art or a different Anthony?
I think it was that. Yeah.
I think it was that. He had a bunch. All he had was slabs.
Yeah, he had a book I wanted last year and I didn't grab. I should have.
It
It was day 3 and I got too lazy to walk back. I was so tired.
Oh, I mean, hey, and let's talk about that too, because
that was a walk, man. A mile never seemed so long in a hot fucking city. Jesus.
Yeah, it was like
92.
Yeah, and it's like I had like a 50-pound bag for comics, and then the last day, fucking me, Scott, and Sean are like, we got all our CGC boxes. I said, boys, I've been training for this, so I had, how heavy do you think? What are those slab boxes? Probably what, 30 pounds, probably.
30.
At least.
Yeah, probably about 30 pounds.
30, 35 pounds. I lift that
Yeah.
bitch up. I start walking out with it. No hand cart, no nothing. And we just started flipping every block, me, Sean, and Scott. We're like, okay, dude. So we
It's a
walked
lot of-
these. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not heavy till you're in the sun with hobos begging you for money, for food, and
I
shit.
got that ice cold water.
Yeah, it's only $1.
Bubbles from the wire.
Dude, Z, did you see that last year? When you went there's some black dude out there with like water. He's like, I got ice cold water.
Got
Oh,
a
yeah.
megaphone
The bullhorn.
screaming.
Dude was killing me.
Shit. Yeah, I found my pictures. I got a Turtles number 4 second print, which I didn't have. I think it was $3, but then I got the second run of Tales of TMNT 1 through 14 for $2.50 a pop, which was awesome. And then let me see what else I got. I got the DreamWorks Turtle series 1 through 7. I don't know why. I just hit it straight Turtles for the first couple days. Just go out and do it. And then I got the Greg Horn stuff. And I think my find of the show, I mean, it was good. Turtle wise, I got Turtles number 5, the one with Splinter on the cover A, with the red moon, which is hard to find. And then what else did I get? My favorite book of the show though was the We Can Never Go Home number 1. Homage to Chamber of Chills.
I totally forgot about that book when you were looking for a good homage.
I had no idea. I just stumbled upon it. I was like, wow, that's awesome.
Well, it's polybagged, I think, at Books A Million or wherever the variant was from.
Yeah, I just had to get it. And then there was a nice Tomb Raider Journeys. What issue is this? Number 1, I think, is cover B. Adam Hughes, nice big ass cleavage cover, Catwoman esque. But so it was a good show. I mean, I bought a lot the first day. And then,
There was a Towley cosplay.
Yeah,
what?
the tally was great.
I'm
I got
trying
a
to
picture. I got a picture with Tally.
Only makes me think of the one whose name we should not speak.
Who? Voldemort?
No, don't you remember that GIF that Koi made for?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. That GIF was hilarious.
Yeah.
Taking all of the We Can Never Go Home against.
oh,
That
that
was
guy.
what it's about.
Yeah, that fucking guy. Shit. Yeah,
Wood, what'd
working
you
at-
get?
I didn't pick up too much. I mean, the only thing I was really hunting for was the star run, the 86 star run of Masters of the Universe. And
Nice.
half the people I would ask, majority of them didn't have them. And then a couple of people that did, they were kind of overpriced. I mean, especially compared to eBay prices, or you look at them, they'd be spine ticked. And then I always get in a battle with myself because I'm trying to actually do a 9/8 run of that series.
Yeah.
So I always feel like if I'm buying raw, I'm taking money out of my pocket for when they come up 9/8.
Yep.
So, but then when I stopped at Carl's booth, I just bought stuff that I knew I could actually flip pretty easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was just picking up one of the good comics that I bought that I'd never seen before that I just bought because I'm a huge Rob Zombie fan. Is they had this Rob Zombie Spook Show number 1. And it was cool because it's got, Spalding on there, freaking Dr. Satan, Sherry Moon Zombie. So I picked up
Nice.
that. I picked up a Superman Convergence number 2, Brave and the Bold number 33. He had like multiple copies of that, and all those were in great condition. So I did pick up a couple Masters of the Universe. I picked up the number 1 from the Star Run. I picked up a number 1 from the 82 miniseries. Picked up a J.G. Jones variant for Red Robin number 1. Red Hulk number 1. But we were gonna, which I regret not buying, is Sean pointed out one of those booths had a 9/8 Masters of the Universe number 12, the Skeletor, the He-Man Dies cover.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and I asked him the price, and the guy was saying $225, which was actually not bad. But I was like, and in the back of my mind, I was trying to save money for drinking that night. So I didn't buy it, and then I kept beating myself up over it. And we were gonna go back the next day because remember one of you guys gave, Scott gave me, or Dino gave me Jim's VIP lanyard.
Yep.
To try to get in the next day with, and
which
Matt and I were in
I'm gonna stop you there. So I don't know if we talked about this, but so they had a lanyard and then they had wristbands, right? So I rip off my fucking wristband the first day. I'm like, fuck this, I really don't need this. And then we have lanyards, right? So the next 3 days, they're like, everybody hold up their wrist for their wristbands. I'm like, why the fuck would you give me a lanyard then? So,
but this is great.
So basically, I had it was almost like an Apple Watch, but it's like a TomTom watch, like a black watch. I just hold that up. They're like, "Okay, man, you're good." So I didn't.
Every time it worked.
Every time.
Nobody questioned them. Nobody said anything. It's like they were just going through the motions. As long as you put your hand up, they didn't care.
So the next morning, we were in the lobby debating going, because I'd say, well, we'll use the VIP lanyard, then we'll just split the cost of a ticket for him. And not to mention, we were so hungover. Then right when we were debating it, the text messages started coming across. Oh, they pulled the fire alarm again. No one can go in right now. So we just said, hey, instead of going in there, there's a comic book store we go to a lot in Annapolis called Third Eye Comics. I said, why don't we just head south and we'll just go through Annapolis and stop by Third Eye and just see what they have. So, of course, we made good time getting there. So we got there a half hour. It was like 10:30 and they didn't open until 11. So, of course, we stopped at McDonald's for breakfast and we're like, look like death, feel like death, eating greasy-ass food. And then we get into Third Eye and they had moved locations because they had a big location before, but now this place is it's like huge. So
they were at the show, I think.
Yeah, they were. And they actually added, before they didn't really have any back issues. It was always like maybe the past year, but they'd have it all on the rack and you'd have a year's worth of run, but they didn't have like real back issues. Well, they had added a back issue box. And I felt like I was still at the con. I'm just sitting there digging through all the back issues. Like, well, if I found this, so let me grab some more so I can like negotiate the price. So I ended up picking up a bunch of like the Image run of Masters of the Universe. Picked up like Batman and Robin, the Frank Quitely cover for $1. I picked up a bunch of, like I said, Image and the MVC Creations, Masters of the Universe. I think I got like 20 of them, and it was like $10. So, and then I think our ride home seemed like it lasted 4 times as long as it did coming up because both of us were just like quiet and hungover. And the whole time I was digging through that bag issue box, my head's just like freaking pounding. Like I could feel it just going boom, 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 boom. But it was a good time. I enjoyed it. I'll tell you what, I enjoyed the con, but I enjoyed I've talked to all you guys online for 3 years, 4 years?
Yeah.
And just finally getting there, meeting everyone. That was huge. It was almost like, I felt like I was 20 years younger going to college again. Definitely drank that way, but it was a good time.
Yeah, I told my wife, I said, I'd love to go to this. I'd love to go to this every year. Can I please?
Yeah, no, just a word of advice is don't try to keep up with Sean.
Yep.
Oh, no, you can't do it.
Sleepy John found out that the hard way.
Sleepy John. Sleepy Hollow.
Oh, I love that name. That's hilarious. Those pictures were hilarious.
It just can't be done.
You can keep up with Sean, but you'll regret it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, Sean wasn't looking saucy on the first day of Baltimore. I tell you that.
Yeah. Thursday was rough when we went to the casino, and Paul almost got stabbed by an Asian lady.
Okay. All right. So someone explain to me this fucking blackjack thing. So okay, this is me. Let me start it off. Let me say, this is me playing blackjack. All right. It's me versus the dealer. Apparently, it's the table versus the dealer, but in my mind, it's me versus the dealer. I'm trying to get to 21. I'm trying to break you, so I have 20. I have whatever the fuck I had. I don't even know what I had.
King, queen. Yeah, king, queen.
King, queen. Okay, so king, queen. So I'm like, sweet. Let me get greedy. I'll double it. Fuck, I'll split. Why not?
on a 9, dealer 9. Why would you do that? The funny part is that the pit boss had to come over and be like, he's really doing this. And like, she looks at the camera and points down. And I think she like shrugs her shoulders like, this is happening.
And here I'm telling Paul that he shouldn't do that. And he goes, why? I'm like, because you're gonna be fucking the rest of the table. He goes, well, I don't care. I want to do it anyway. And I was like, all right, well, do it, man.
Because who gives a fuck about the rest of the table if you are gonna lose money or gain money? To me, I was like, it's my hand. I want to double my money.
Well, I'm just gonna give you a word of advice, Paul. Don't play blackjack again. Nobody's gonna kill you.
Paul.
Oh, shit.
So basically, this Asian lady, the worst part about the whole experience is like, I'm talking to her and she's a nice lady, you know, and she's like, oh, you should do this. And I fucked up a hand and she kind of yelled at me, but it was fine. No big deal. And then she stops playing. That's how bad it was. She's like, I'm done with this. We're not playing anymore. And she like gets up and like, the guy's like, you going to play? She's like, no.
No, she doesn't get up. She just stays seated and waits till Paul runs out of money.
Because I was the closest person to where the cards are dealt from. I was the first person to receive a card. So that's how I fucked everyone. Because
no, you fucked everyone because you kept doing the wrong thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that too. But anywho, that particular hand, what was fucked up about that is beyond me owing Sean $90 now or whatever, is that I split. And I really, of the two hands I split, I only won one hand. So I broke even. So I fucked everybody, and I broke even. It's just terrible. So, yeah. Go ahead.
You do understand the rule of the game, though, right?
I do.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
To a limited capacity, I do. 21, beat the dealer, and make your money. But it's, I guess it's more to it.
You do know that 20 is right next to 21, right?
Yeah, but I could split and double my money. That was the thing. I could have two hands for the price of one.
I can't. We can't make this up, Ben. I can't. I couldn't, dude. I was like, I'm just done. I love Paul to death. I'm just done. I was like, I was astonished, and I was like, kind of flabbergasted at the whole thing.
And I'm sitting next to Paul, and I was having a good time because I was up like $150, so I didn't have a problem losing because it was their money. But it was hilarious because everybody else was pissed.
So Sean, you saw the photos. If you saw the photo of Sean's hand over his mouth, was probably the best. People just didn't understand. Like Sean's like, I can't believe what's going on right now.
And every time I'll tell Paul, no, don't do that, Paul. No, you want to stay? Well, no, I don't want to stay. I'm like, no, you want to stay? Well, I'm gonna hit.
Oh man!
And then once he hit, he just fucked the whole table. I mean, the whole table busted, and they just looked there and just looked at everybody like, well, that happens.
No, I knew I wasn't gonna leave with more than the money I brought in. It's like, fuck it, I might as well have fun. But my fun was somebody else's not fun.
Well, you had fun. I had fun. Everybody else was pissed.
Yeah, I guess next year just put me at a table with no one else from CBSI.
No. We're gonna take you to a table like the fucking Griswold style and take you to like war or some shit. Like, here, man, just you war and
heads and tails.
Guess my weight. All the crazy shit.
Oh shit! So anyway,
on the plus side, you all made it into the casino.
Yes.
That wasn't a problem.
The dude looked pissed though. He didn't look like he was having a good time.
What dude?
But, the guy, the bouncer, check-in guy, whatever you want to call him, at the casino.
Yeah.
Anywho, long story short, next year for blackjack, I guess I owe Sean $90, and hopefully we won't run into that Asian lady again because I might be limping out.
Pretty much anybody that you do that to is probably going to want to stab you.
I've never seen somebody get so mad before in my life.
Or I could just sit at the last table on the booth, and then I could do whatever the fuck I want. Right? Because I won't fuck anybody else over if I'm the last guy in line.
But the problem is, if you take the whole thing is everybody needs to take just what they need, and then you want to hope that the dealer, you don't take a card that the dealer needs to bust on. Like if you take a 10 that the dealer is going to bust on, you screw everybody.
This is too much for me. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. I mean, I only lost $100. I'm not really crying about it, but I mean, I was like, fuck me.
I brought her. I knew I was gonna. I brought $100. I left with $0. So
I was up 25.
I should have walked away when I was up, but I was like, okay, whatever, I know. But
And then Dino got palled. Well, I think I only really picked up one book for myself, and it was a Tales of Suspense 52.
that was a good book, man.
Yeah,
Great
the
book.
7.5.
Which one's 52?
First Black Widow.
Ah, yeah.
how'd the on-site go for you guys?
I did well. The books I submitted, I think were 8 out of 9 were 9/8, and one I knew was borderline.
I got fucked on my Rick and Morty at a 9.4, but I knew it was gonna happen. I mean, it was iffy. It should have been a 9.6, but whatever. I think F5 did well. What did we submit, dude?
Yeah.
We
had
submitted
those-
a shit ton of books, I think, but
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it was
got
everybody's books.
That Horn.
Oh
She-Hulk.
yeah. So we got a She-Hulk, or is that
That was
50?
nice.
Is that 58?
58 or 58. I
58
believe.
or 57? It came back 9.8, so that was a good deal.
We got a couple ASM 569s and 9.8.
Yep. Our Savage Seahawks weren't 9.8, but I mean,
No,
we got what we needed out of them. So
they're free at this point.
yeah. Did you tell about the story about Frank your signing?
Oh
Yeah, I didn't hear shit about that. How'd that go? Because I know I held your books, or I submitted. I was in line for CGC while you were doing the signing. So
Yeah, it was my ticket. I signed up for the the gold package. I got 4 autographs. It was the ticket said 1:00, so like I hope that I had time with the VIP to go dig a little bit and then go there. So obviously when they let us in at 12:40, that kind of hampered my plans. So I'm walking around this place asking everybody I see with their blue shirts, where's the Frank Miller signing? Literally everybody's pointing me in every different direction. So it took me like 20 minutes to find the place after basically walking around the whole thing. And then I finally get there and they're like, oh, well, the signing's not going to be till 2:45.
Jesus.
I was like, what the fuck? All right, fine. I'm going to go dig. So I went right to Carl's booth then. Dug there. So we get there. I go back at like 2:30 to wait in line. And he was on time, but it was hilarious because a lot of people were showing up. Like they had different packages, and basically nobody knew what the hell was going on. So many people were like pissed off. They're like, "What do you mean? If you got the silver package, you had to be there at like 4:45?" And people are like, "Well, we were told 2:45," and people were flipping out.
The whole show is kind of like just mishmash.
Yeah, they did not have any organization at all.
Even for the CGC on site, I mean, there was a line of like respectable people, and then we're all wondering. When I got there later in the day, I went up and talked to Sean, and I tried to fuck with the woman. I was like, "Hey, could I just submit my books?" And she said, "Did you wait in line?" Like, "No, I didn't." So I waited in line. Blah blah blah. But when I went in line, I was like talking to these other guys, and I was asking, I wonder how many people actually waited in line because there was no ropes or anything. So I wish they would have handed out, like, I don't know, deli tickets or some shit to add some structure to it. But
and poor Sean, like, so they get late, right, on this bullshit about letting everybody like an hour early. So poor Sean's waiting in line from 12:40 for like an hour and a half to like 2 or 3, trying to submit books, and he's like literally the first one in line at CGC, and he had to wait. Like, I mean, his first day pretty much was him standing in line for cons or for CGC. Like,
they were late last year too.
He didn't even get a chance to look at books. I mean,
wow,
I felt bad.
They are perpetually late every year. Because it was a good hour and a half last year, wasn't it, Scotty?
I went there.
Yeah, they were definitely late. Yeah.
when I was talking to the woman before I got in line, she's like, "Hey, I mean, she said, hey, you can wait in line if you want, but if you get up here and we've met our quota, then it's SOL." And I heard a story from another guy. I can't remember if it was from you, Scott, or some stranger, but a guy who had a box of, I don't know, 75 books or something crazy. He wanted to sub, and they had to tell him, or they overheard CGC saying the limit was 50. So I don't know if the unofficial limit is 50 or something like that.
But you know what the funny thing is? People were subbing books on Saturday, so they never really shut it off.
Interesting.
Were they on site or just subbing them?
On site.
Oh.
I got a BA12 back sub. This is the second submission after a repress, and I got a 9.0 and a 9.4, which I think were the same grades as last time. So I razzed that 9.4. Philip Chung won it. Congratulations to him. But the notes on the 9.4 were they were like what they say, dent on right top of back cover and scuff on right top of back cover. So I think if he gets CGC on a good day, he'll probably get a 9.6 out of that. And then I got some Walking Deads, 19, I think, right? It's the first Michonne, Walking Dead 19.
Yep.
I got a 9.4 and a 9.6 on those. So I didn't submit too many books, but I did get a 9.8 on the Wonder Woman, the SDCC photo variant.
Yeah, it's a good book.
So I don't know. I don't know if I'll razz that one or not. It's tempting. We'll see. But I mean, whatever. I was hoping for the Baltimore bump, but
yeah, there was no bump.
Yeah,
I think
I
it was
got
a
the
little
bump on
stricter
one
too.
book.
Which one, Z?
That Batman, man.
That was clean, man.
It was, but man, I didn't think it was a 9 too.
That X-Men book you had was ridiculous too.
I thought that one had a chance at a 9.8. I thought, but I found one.
There was one
tiny
micro tip.
ass. I mean, it was small, and I thought maybe trade press it out, but it was there's that black like line of the fold, and you could see it, but my God, it was white and clean and bright.
Yep.
I've never
It's one
seen
of the best one
white
I've ever seen in my life, honestly.
I mean, I bet there's way worse 9.6s than that one.
Oh yeah, I bet there's worse 9.8s.
Since you got it and stuff, where'd you get it from?
I bought it in you guys remember last December? I bought a collection of books that had like some Golden Age shit and some bronze and stuff. So it was kind of like an unexpected gem because I just saw it in a bag and didn't think about it. And then, as I was getting to the end of sorting through shit, I'm like, holy hell, that's nice.
Wow.
Because most of them like looked nice from afar, but then once you got into them, they didn't. Like there
were Monets.
Yeah, like an Iron Fist one that had like coloring in of a spot, or like the back cover was bad. They're like, we just kept the ones that looked pretty, and this one was like one that actually was like, holy shit. Of course, I lost on one. I had a giant size X-Men that I razzed that was a 7. Everybody thought it's a 7. Vaith won it and got a 9.
Wow. Yeah, I think they're a little lenient on that book because of the staples, the way it's square bound.
Oh well.
Yeah, I mean,
I made several thousand on that lot, so I'm all right.
Nice.
Oh, anything outside of Baltimore to talk about?
We covered the casino. Pratt Street Ale House, we closed it down on Friday night.
Yeah, I think meeting everybody was cool. Like I met Jimmy, I met Mel, I met all the boys, TJ, Vaith, I met John finally, and John's
Begley's fun to hang out with.
Dude, Begley's a blast. Joe Chi.
Where's your drink, Chi?
Where's your drink, Chi?
Did he have to go home to his wife again?
No, he stayed at the hotel, but Begley had to like walk his ass home, and it was across
because he kept making him drink.
No, man, don't mess with Begley.
Yeah, Begley cited Chi in.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. Where's your drink, Chi?
Well, if you can take out Sean, nobody should mess with him.
True. Yeah, I was looking at my notebook for Paul's problems, but man, we covered so much. I'll just save it.
Safe.
save that. But oops.
What was the book that everybody was kind of looking for? Like not out. I mean, like outside of you guys.
We heard a lot of people asking about Rick and Morty.
Yeah, there was no Rick and Morty.
There was none. Few here and there, but nothing major.
What else did I hear? I didn't hear, honestly, like this one was a weird con because I like stuck with the group most of the time, but I didn't hear anybody really ask for any books. I mean, me and Scott saw a bunch like we went to what was that one booth that had like Tech 31 and AFM 15s and Wonder Woman 1s.
He had like 4 AF-15s and basically every Silver Age key you could want, he had multiples of.
Yeah, I know which booth.
Yeah, and then Tech.
Pretty impressive.
I saw a Tech 31. I saw a Crime Does Not Pay 22. I saw a couple of those, and one was a 2.0, one was a 4.0 or something. And I told Sean, and Sean told me to go fuck myself because he didn't need to spend that amount of money on a book. And he's like, dude, I understand. Like, oh, he goes, I got it. Yeah, and that's what me and him were talking about it. He goes, and then you're funny. He goes, I might as well spend the extra $2,000 and get a better book. Than I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to spend $2,000 on a shitty book when you can get, $4,000, get a better one. Yeah.
So, no, it was a good time. Talking about Sean, picking with Sean's a whole nother level. Jedi master at what he does, you can tell. I think the knowledge of just being able to understanding the pressing of books and like what's been pressed and what hasn't been pressed is like a huge game changer. I mean, it's an art, I guess you can call it, So, but besides that, meeting everybody was cool, and everybody was really cool. There wasn't a guy who was like a dick, so
no douchebags.
Yeah, that gives us very good hope about the future of this group. So, I mean, from my Mount Rushmore of I guess being on top or whatever you want to call it, like it gives me good pleasure to say that we have a real good group of guys, and it's always going to be that way. And nobody was there trying to screw with anybody or be on every.
Yeah, I mean, we wore our CBSI shirts with pride. I mean, somebody gave me a shout out in a positive, saying, "Hey, CBSI, awesome website," and I just kind of gave him a wave, like I didn't say who I was and blah blah blah. And then some other guy was like, "Hey, there's a CBSI guy here," like in a negative way, and I just kind of rubbed it off, like, "Yeah, what's up? How you doing?" Because I mean, fuck, they don't know that if you're inner circle or if you're just somebody buying a shirt, and like, well, fuck you.
They hate us because they ain't us.
That's right.
That's right.
Haters make us famous, man. So,
but I mean, beyond those two experiences, it was all good. Shout outs in positive and negative lights alike. But I mean, definitely, I'd love to go next year for sure.
CBSI meetup.
Yeah, I just told my wife, because I'm at a different, I don't know, I'm just kind of at a different point in my comic career where I told her, I was like, hey, if we can work it out where I don't do any other con but go to Baltimore, even if I'm just, because I'll probably never set up at Baltimore to sell. I'm like, even if I just go, if I skip Toledo Con, maybe if F5 does Toledo, maybe I'll work something out where I can leave one box with you guys or something, whatever. But if I can, whatever I need to do to lock in Baltimore to hang out with you guys every year, I'll do it, because it was just a blast.
Yeah, I moved my inventory for next year.
Yeah,
I basically went there the next day when I came home on Monday. I was like, because our inventory is like a huge deal at our work. And it was this weekend, the weekend of Baltimore. Like, people were like, this is never going to happen again. You need to be here. I'm like, fuck, I'll have to go on Saturday, which isn't that big of a deal. And tickets were cheap enough for me, at least, that, going to Philly or even going to Baltimore. I mean, going to one city or to the next, like from Detroit to Baltimore. I mean, that's nobody really does that unless you're dealing drugs. So, I mean, it was pretty cheap. Or
slinging books.
Yes, or slinging books. Yeah. So, I mean, I told my guy at my CFO, I'm like, when's the inventory? He's like, oh, it's the 21st or something. And I think in Baltimore's the 28th next year. So I definitely in for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So it's going to be a good time. So
I think that, Brian, was that you who sent the dates for next year already?
Yeah, it's 28th through the 30th of September.
Nice.
Yeah, so
it'll be a good time.
I do have one more Baltimore story,
I'll do it up.
which is actually not con related. It's after hours related. So Saturday night we left. We figured we'd meet up with everyone, but while we were waiting, of course, we went to Hooters, in which you guys already know how good that was. But we met up with you guys at Water Street Tavern, and then people were deciding to go somewhere else. And my buddy and I were like, oh, we're not going to drink that much tonight. We're just going to stay here, maybe have another beer. So everyone took off. Next thing I know, now my extent of drinking, if I drink outside of beer, it's usually Jim Beam. I mean, it's simple.
Good
right?
man. Good man.
But my buddy Matt was with me, and he was ordering Moscow Mules.
Yep. Good. Mules are good stuff, man.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It was good. I didn't know what the hell it was at first, and then he was ordering Washington apples, which is like Crown Royal or.
Hello, heartburn.
Yeah, so we were. Next thing I know, we kept taking them, and then he's like, "Do you want another?" And I was like, "Sure." Well, we were there till about it was almost midnight, and then we said, "Man, maybe we should walk back to the hotels." So we walked back to the hotel, and then we're walking in the lobby. I was like, "Oh crap! I left my phone charger in the car." So we walked down into the parking garage underneath, got back in the elevator to go up to our rooms. We were on the 8th floor. Both of us get in the elevator, and both of us hit the button number 5, which is the hotel bar. So we were both like, whatever, we'll just hit the bar, and not even talking to each other. We just hit the number. So we go up there, and there was like an after dinner party or something. They're all in their fancy gowns, and then we just sat at the bar. And by this time, we were pretty much good to go. I mean, I was drunk off my ass, actually. And there was a cute little blonde-haired girl working the bar. And I remember sitting there looking out, and because it's right on the harbor, so I was looking out there in the glare between the bars and the lights, and me being drunk as shit. I asked why there was a high dive platform in the harbor, because it looked like a bunch of different level platforms for a high dive. And she's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "There's a high dive platform out there in the harbor." And then I was like, "Whatever." So we started drinking more of those.
And she served you after that comment?
Yeah. We drink about 5 more of those Washington apples, and then my buddy mixes it up and gets freaking Jaeger Red Bull.
Oh.
So then we're a couple more Washington apples, and we start talking to the bartender, and she's asked, what we were in town for, and I was like, "Well, I'm Skolnick, and this is Wormser, and we're here for the Comic-Con." And I was like, "Yeah, we're a bunch of nerds," and I did the whole Skolnick. And she's like, "Oh," and it turns out, she's like, "Oh, I'm kind of, I've been to some of those," and she's like, my cousin or my sister and her friend, they do LARP," and he kind of walked away, and I looked over at my friend, and I was like, "What's LARP?" I don't know. He's like, I was like, "I don't either, but I'd LARP her asshole."
That's a whole nother level of dork.
And the bad thing is, she was walking back when I said it.
Oh, jeez.
And she's like, "Can I get you guys anything else?" I was like, "I'll take a water." And
oh shit, that's funny. Yeah, man, shout out to all the cosplayers. There's some awesome cosplay. It's not my thing, but
my favorite was Dude Harley.
Dude in that fucking heat, any costume.
Dude, the Dude Harley was fucking disgusting. Like, had his ass hanging out, like gut was hanging out. There was a couple dude Wonder Womans.
I got my own Water Street Tavern story. So I go to pay my bill, right?
Yeah.
And the girl's really nice. She tells me she lived on a boat. I'm getting to know her. She's cute. We're just hitting it off. We're talking. So, well, so I was like, okay, well, I'm ready to pay. We're about to bounce. No big deal. She's like taking forever. I'm like, what is she, like, fucking ordering shit on Amazon off my car? Like, what the fuck's going on? So the printer broke, like the receipt printer. I'm like, it's okay. I'll give you cash. No big deal. I got a bunch of cash. So I gave her some cash, and I was like, cool, no problem. I'll go, you just sign it. I trust you. It's not that big of a deal. And Scott's like, wait till she writes $500 on that thing and signs it. I go, yeah, well. So I'm like, cool. I'm going to see you later. No big deal. So we go off, and we go to another bar. And then we get back to the hotel, and I'm going to check out. I'm like, okay, well, Ben, because we kind of expensed it off on the company. But So we had to use a different card. I go, oh, don't worry. And I go look at my wallet, and I go, where's my debit card? And I was like, fuck, man. And I was like, oh, shit, I left it over at the bar. So I'm like, okay, no big deal. It's on the way. You know, we can make it happen. Well, I start calling the bar, and nobody's answering. And I'm like,
it's like 10:30.
It's like 10:30, and I'm like, you know, and Baltimore's playing Jacksonville in London. So, like, the bar is open. It says it's open. I'm like, God damn it, they're not going to be open or some kind of crazy shit. So we walk down there, and they're like, the upstairs is, like, closed. And thank God the downstairs was open. I was like, hey, I left. She goes, you left your credit card here last night, didn't you? And it was a different chick. I go, yeah. She goes, upstairs or downstairs? I go, upstairs. And I go, I try to call, and this other girl goes, yeah, she probably just didn't pick up the phone. Like, who the hell's calling at like 9 o'clock in the morning? I'm like, oh, well. So thankfully they had my card, and she asked me a bunch of questions and like wanted to know like what color it was and what name was on it and what my social security number was. But I finally got it back. So that was my Eastwater or my tavern story. So I thought that was interesting. It's more of a pain in the ass.
That was Dino's Paul's problem.
Yeah, that was my Paul's problem.
Yeah, man. I had to rub off on somebody. You guys were closest. Scott, did you have any fallout from this, or are you just a casual observer? Did you get a flat tire on the way home? Or
no, man. I know how to avoid problems.
Wow.
I see them before especially being around you. You got to anticipate.
Yeah.
Think on your feet.
Your spidey sense was tingling.
Oh yeah, the whole weekend. No, it was great, man. It was definitely a blast. Like I said, getting to meet people that you've been talking to for 3+ years. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah. Shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy was funny. That was good.
Yeah, Jimmy was great.
Dude, Jimmy orders an Uber. So we go out to this bar, and he orders an Uber, and the guy's like, hey, where you at? And Jimmy's like, I'm where the blue dot is.
Guys around
yeah,
the
exactly.
Yeah. He goes, I don't know. I can't fucking understand you. And he just hangs up. and he looks at me, and he goes, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I'm like, oh, okay, that's one way to handle it. And then he calls him back, and he's like, what do you want, man? He goes, I'm at the blue dot. He goes, oh, I'm around the corner. And he goes, oh. So that was good times with Jimmy. Jimmy's a funny motherfucker. He really is. Like,
I had an Uber. I don't know what I had Uber fuck up. I don't know how many people listen to UD, but after the story on
wait, a lot more people than they listen to Flipside.
Yeah, that's true. So on Unpressables, Jimmy alluded to a story where I was outside the hotel alone after some people had left. But so I was like, I don't want to fucking walk back because of the John Z story. I'm like, some fucking shit. If I walk back,
and let me guess, you didn't have your monkey ball, right?
Yeah, I didn't. I had my pocket knife. I think maybe I don't know.
And B, I go and I so me and Scott left Paul. I go, Paul, don't go anywhere where you're alone, and make sure somebody's with you, because I was afraid the Z story was gonna kick in, and like we got to leave tomorrow, and it's at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, but fucking Paul would have showed up 4:30 and like had no idea where he's at or got caught in jail or something. I'm like, somebody take care of him, please, so I can get home. But it was fine.
The force took care of it. So like I know something's gonna happen if I walk back. I don't care what it's gonna cost me. I don't care. I'm gonna take a cab. So I order a cab, order a Lyft, whatever, Uber, blah blah blah. And I'm waiting, and then it's like, so and so has arrived at your destination. So the same thing as Jimmy. I'm like, oh, he's around the corner, wherever the fuck the dot is. So I run around the corner. There's no car. I run back to where I was. There's no car. I'm like, well, what the hell? I'll call Joe Schmo, whoever it is. So I called him. I was like, oh, I'm at so-and-so location, which is where we were earlier that night. I'm like, no, I'm not there. What the fuck? So I had to cancel the ride for $7. Then I had to order another Uber for an additional $9 to get to where I was going. And she or he, or whatever the fuck it was, actually showed up. So I finally made it back to the hotel, and I was like, God damn, I should have just walked. It would have been a more interesting story than spending money.
Oh, let's talk about okay, so I guess we might end this, but okay. I'm gonna tell this last story. It's so I order Uber to take me, Paul, and Joe to the airport to Baltimore. And I call it up like 3 minutes away. Perfect. No problem. So we're at my hotel, and Joe grabbed his stuff. And so So person pulls up, rolls right in, and we're like, cool, no problem. So all Paul says is, "Oh, we see a baby seat." Okay, so okay, it happens, no big deal. I go, hey, I'll pop the trunk. Now, mind you, I have fucking Paul's monstrosity of a bag, me and Joe's duffel bags, and like 3 backpacks. This girl has fucking a case of water, 3 cases of ramen noodles, a fucking stroller in her back of her trunk, and I'm like, this isn't gonna happen. And she goes, "Oh, I didn't think about people having luggage on an Uber." I was like, what do you mean?
Take me to the airport.
Yeah, so yeah, we had to cancel that one, and thank God I didn't get charged for it. But that was my Uber story of.
The guy who picked us up was nice, though.
Yeah, a lot of Nigerians there. I talk soccer with them. They love me. You know, the funniest part is, so me and Scott and Paul go in the first Uber, and we're like, "Oh, so how do you like Baltimore?" And he's like, "That's just a city." And then he's like,
It's where I live.
"It's where I live." And he goes, "You know, coming from wherever he came from, back here, you know, it is what it is. I just provide for my family." And I was like, "Oh my God, we got the most depressing fucking Uber driver on the planet. Like, wants to slit his wrists."
Yeah, he was very, very Debbie Downer.
He's like, "Okay, you guys have a nice day." We're like, "You too." He's like, "Probably not really."
Yeah, the breakfast though at the hotel though was awesome. So shout out to Ben for that again.
Oh, tell him,
Paul had
no. You can't leave it at that, fucker. Let's talk about your breakfast stories.
I don't know which one.
The quote of the
This
breakfast
fucking guy-
was, "Oh, that's not a fart."
Yeah.
Get up and run to the bathroom.
Okay. So wait a second. Let's add this. So basically, Paul goes the first time. He's like, "Oh man, there's got a lot of food here." I mean, Ben, you know, Ben, they have like the normal shit, right? It's like waffle maker, eggs, sausage, you know, all the whatever it is. So this fucker comes back with like 4 plates. I'm like, God damn it,
and the
Paul.
plates are stacked.
Yeah, he has like 2 milks, like fucking 3 orange juices. I'm like, who's gonna eat all this shit? He goes, "You know, I gotta take some back." He had like fucking fruit. I felt like a banana.
Yeah, we had like 2 or 3
stand.
yogurts that he didn't eat.
Yeah, he had like a banana and fruit stand over at the fucking at the hotel. Like, what are you peddling the shit out of the room? So he rolls in, and then the second day, he's like got a big plate of food, and literally me and Scott are just bullshitting. All of a sudden, Paul goes, "Oh, this isn't gonna be a fart," and literally runs to the bathroom, right? Which is by far the funniest thing in the world. So we're like, "Oh Jesus!" And then all of a sudden, these 3 little kids are like fucking around by the bathroom, and they're like knocking on the door, and me and Scott are just watching this unfold, just unfold. Fucking Paul's been in there like 30 minutes. We're like
Killing the toilet.
killing it, just killing it.
Yeah,
And
man.
Fucking Paul walks out. These kids walk in, and I can't believe they still have their eyebrows. Like,
Yeah. When you have to give yourself a courtesy flush, you know it's bad. Oh shit! I couldn't enjoy my breakfast. My stomach was hurting. It was full, and I was like, "Oh, I gotta go."
I almost hit with the bomb squad to make them have like those radioactive suits, man, when they go in that fucking thing.
The breakfast was good though. It was very diverse and filling. Shit.
Ben, you should. I wish you would have came next year, buddy. Oh my God, it was so funny.
If you guys gotta make it happen. It is the CBSI con. It's just it is.
Who's gonna go to C2E2 though in the spring?
I could.
I'd rather go to IndyCon than C2E2.
Honestly, I would too.
It's the week after though, right? C2E2.
Yeah, or like 2 weeks.
Yeah, but I've just heard C2E2 is kind of like every other con. It's not that fun anymore.
Hey, what was the other con the guy was telling us was good?
Charlotte.
Something in
Charlotte.
Carolina?
Yeah,
Charlotte's
Charlotte.
good one there.
Dude, I've heard great things about Charlotte. It's just like, man, I mean, a lot of big books are there. A lot of East Side guys go there, and it's like good books. But I don't know. I think Carl goes to Charlotte. Somebody told me that the thing they go to Charlotte.
But yeah, go ahead.
Oh, Ben, did you get charged for the for any kind of problems with the hotel room?
I got no charges.
They didn't call you?
That was great.
Nope.
It was at the end. We were all nervous, like looking at each other, like, what the fuck are they gonna charge us for? What was the term? Fuck, I can't remember. But it was like, basically, if we go into your hotel room and there are any like big ass holes in the drywall or shit like that, we'll charge this card that amount to repair it. And we're like, I hope not.
So what did you do, Paul? What did you do?
I don't know. You gotta remind me because I don't remember. Tell me.
So fucking Paul. I mean, it's 3 dudes using the bathroom, right? And one little bathroom, right? So, I mean, it's cool. Like me and we talked about Sean staying in our room. Sean's like, "Fuck you guys! I'm not having 4 guys in one bathroom," which I understand, right? And he likes his space, and that's cool, no problem, dude.
But Sean and I, as 2 guys, barely managed the bathroom.
Yeah, I know. So fucking Paul, it's like what, Sunday.
Sunday, last day.
Last day, fucking Sean or fucking Paul goes, "I broke the toilet." We're like, "What the fuck, dude?" He's like, "Yeah, it's plugged, dude." And I'm like, "Great." I'm like, "Let's get the fuck out of here before somebody sees us." And
Shit.
and it's one of those, and Ben, it's one of those like low flush, minimum flush toilets,
They're
like
bad.
Oh yeah.
water saver ones, man.
Yeah,
Those
I mean,
suck.
The one time I
Yeah,
decided to
they're
poop in the room, you gotta clog the bitch up. Jeez.
Oh god.
So we left some money for the cleaning lady.
I'm like, Paul, you better pay the fucking hotel people. We left like $25, I think.
And the beer. And the
yeah.
beer.
And the beer.
and the yogurts and apples and
Yogurts and beer, bananas and apples. Yeah.
You know what? I live in Maryland, and you make me want to like drive to Ohio to travel to Baltimore with you guys.
No, you don't. No, you don't. I
like-
pull a short straw every fucking year now. It's gonna be awesome.
Be like planes, trains, and automobiles.
yeah, those aren't pillows.
Man, if they don't remember me, they'll at least remember the luggage if I bring it next year.
Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, and I thank God we didn't drive it. I'm gonna say next year we also just fly. Honestly, even if we come to Detroit, because Detroit to Philly was like $50, bro, $40.
Yeah, it
That's
wasn't
cheap.
bad.
You don't want to have to drive out of Baltimore on Sunday.
Well, I didn't even do that. Yeah, I didn't even do that either. I went back from Baltimore to Detroit. It was like 60 or it was $80. But if I waited on Monday, it would have been 40 again. But
Yeah, Ben, even if you drive to my house and we drive up to Detroit together or something, I think it's more. Driving would be fun, but I think it would just kill us in the end, and we wouldn't want to do it again versus flying. But we'll figure that out next year. But yeah, I mean, I'm already saving money.
oh, let's talk about your money too.
What about my money?
Let's talk about your money. The fucking
You
kid
save
has.
all this cash up for the year, and then you deposit it in your bank.
What?
Why don't you bring the cash with you?
Because I didn't have the fanny pack didn't fit, and I didn't want to get robbed.
You've heard of a wallet, right?
So he bought a decoy wallet.
Yeah.
So my strategy is every paycheck that I can, I'll take $100 out cash and put it in my safe for Baltimore. And that's how I saved up for this vacation. And so I had it all in cash, so I put it in my bank. And
Oh man.
Dino's got ladies calling him right now. But,
don't worry about what I do, goddammit.
so anywho, why is that a problem? I know I had the money in cash. I put it in my bank account. What? Because I didn't have cash. The cash is king though at cons. I'll tell you that. Maybe that was my problem.
So
why deposit it to just take it out? That's what I don't
know,
understand.
man.
yeah, and especially after Mel goes, the reception is pretty
You love
shitty.
adding steps to the process.
Shit, I know. I was at Bulletproof Comics and he had shit signal. I was trying to play with my card and he was like, I can't do it. Like it kept rejecting it. So like, why don't I just send it to you, friends and family? So I sent it to him, PayPal, boop, went right through. So whatever. I don't know. Whatever. Learned a lot. I'll see you next year. Oh, fuck it.
I learned a lot. See you next year.
except at blackjack. I'm still on the same page as blackjack, so
I'm gonna just put you at the slot machines.
I was up.
Yeah, slot machines. You're just against the machine.
Maybe I'll do poker next year. Really fuck it up.
Poker. Yeah, poker's a one-man game.
Apparently, blackjack isn't because I fucked that up.
Oh.
I'll have to do some FaceTime with Sean throughout the year, and we'll have to do some fake blackjack hands or something. I don't know.
Oh God.
That'll be the Flipside Patreon. Is throughout the year is Sean teaching me how to play blackjack through FaceTime. We'll record it.
The problem is, Paul, though, you have to listen to people.
Yeah, well, that's true too.
That's,
you know what?
That's your biggest issue.
I should have got that. Yeah, I should have got that Asian lady's phone number.
Yeah, can I take like laminated cards to the blackjack table and be like, let me consult my cards? Let me consult my
but you can ask for help.
You can ask for help, yeah. But not every hand. What do you think I should do, dealer?
should I crack, press, and resub?
Yeah.
Wear like one of those armbands that quarterbacks wear with the plays on it.
No, don't worry. This is my cheat sheet.
They're gonna say, "Sir, are you cheating?" They're like, "No, this is like if it's 16, it says hit."
I'm audibling.
No audibling. Fucking Paul's yelling out Oklahoma every fucking time. God damn it.
No, ma'am, I'm just the stupid. Please continue. This is just me, trust me. And maybe I'll wear. I mean, no offense to anybody who's mentally deficient, but maybe I'll just wear a helmet or something.
And people just let you do what you want to do.
Yeah, I'll bring like a pole that I'm blind or something. I don't know. Oh, that guy. Oh shit! I'll cut that out of the podcast. That's pretty bad. We should just end it here.
All right.
I guess we're ending it here.
Yeah, we'll go. I'll figure out a proper place.
We'll come back with some real topics next show.
Yeah, I don't know what we're gonna talk about next show. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, we should do I don't know. Maybe we should
probably read another book.
Yeah, maybe we'll read another book, or we'll teach you Blackjack 101. I don't know.
Anybody wants to give us some ideas? Put them out there.
Yeah, throw it on the page, man. On the Flipside page. Don't throw it on the main page. It'll get deleted. So, no, I'm glad everybody had fun. I'm glad I had met a bunch of people. All right, boys. Till next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Later.